Freshman gang, welcome back. Today we will be doing what if Naruto had an ancient dark doujutsu? Okay, so we start our story off around mid-Kaguya era. Kaguya actually goes up to the king of the Otsutsuki and says, "Why do they have to kill?" The king of the Otsutsuki actually gets pretty angry at Kaguya for her insolence. He gets angry at her. He gets angry at his daughter, the king of the Otsutsuki. So he decides to lock her up for 3 days. Her sister Maya laughs as she's dragged off. A few things for the story. Naruto will be born to an astral and Otsutsuki heritage. If you don't like what ifs where the main character is OP, then this might not be the what if for you. But if you like what ifs where the character gets mildly powerful over the series, you should check out some of my other videos. And yeah. And also, I'm going to say Maya took all the events that Kaguya did. She went to Earth, did all the Hagoromo and Hamura stuff. So we still had the Uchiha and the Hyuga and everyone else. But what happened was, Kaguya, after that, she was banished. She was banished from the place. She was banished from the Otsutsuki planet, never to come back again. What happened was, Kaguya actually searched the galaxy, wandering the galaxy aimlessly, until she stumbled upon one planet. This planet housed a person named Rindra. Rindra was in the same predicament that Kaguya was in. He went to his father and told him that they should stop killing humans because he thought it was wrong as well, and turning them into trees and stuff. Because the Astral Clan will be evil in this what if. So they actually banished him too. Together, Kaguya and Rindra decided to form a rebellion, a resistance, I guess you could say. They would fight off Otsutsukis and Astrals. I'm gonna say that Rindra unlocked his, Mangekyo Astral Gun. And Kaguya unlocked her Rinna Sharingan by thinking she saw Rindra's death. Rindra unlocked his Mangekyo Astral Gun before he met Kaguya. So yeah, they would be a pretty strong force. They'd protect planets, but eventually, the Otsutsuskis figured out that they were working together. So a full-scale war came from both people, from both sides of the war. There were a lot of deaths and a lot of innocent deaths on both sides of the war. So what happened is, in the story, later on, what would happen would be that, a big fight would actually happen in the story. Sorry if you hear background noise. But yeah, a big fight would happen between the Otsutsuskis, the Astrals, and the whole solar system in this what if. Putting the whole actual world up. Sorry for so many cuts. It's just a lot of things are happening and people don't know how to stop. Okay, but let's get back to the story. Naruto, the whole solar system was out of balance. You would only see you. This is the third time I'm back, and I'm sorry for that. I'm honestly, genuinely sorry. Okay, But as I was saying, there was a fight and it put the whole solar system out of balance. There were multiple deaths. But Kaguya and Rindra had a plan. They say Otsutsuki chakra mixed with astral chakra creates a giant whirlpool of chakra called dark chakra. Dark chakra would basically be the fundamentals of chakra, just made of dark matter. Let's say chakra is mixed with matter. So chakra is made from matter. So if you take it from dark matter, you can guarantee that the chakra is going to be a little different. Maybe have different properties. Okay. But as I was saying, this would be very strong. It'd be a dark matter type chakra. It'd be called Yami chakra. Yami Naru chakra. It'd be called Yami chakra for dark chakra. Yami is actually Japanese for dark. But yeah. They create a chakra called Yami chakra. This chakra would be very strong, and from it they would use the technique, they would use the creation of all things technique, but it'd be a little different. It'd be called the universal creation technique, which would be so strong. I'm just kidding, it wouldn't be that strong. But from it, and from most, if not all, of Kaguya's chakra, which created the 10 tails, stacked with Rindra's chakra, and remember, he's the prince. This is stronger than the 10 tails. This would be the 100-tailed fox, Rosary. This is Rosary, the 100-tailed fox. Of course, he'd have more tails, but yeah, he'd still be crazy strong, and he'd look like this. He'd have markings all over his body that were blue. So as soon as this happened, Kaguya would put him in a genjutsu and put Rindra in a genjutsu. So they would all basically meet up in their mindscape. So what they said was, they basically talked about Rindra and how they created him and how the world's out of balance. Keep in mind, Rindra was just made. So what happened was, Rindra would actually fight alongside with them. But what happened is, after this, basically, what they do is Naruto would be born. About approximately 1 year later, Naruto would be born. Naruto would have silver white hair, short hair because he's a baby, and he'd have naturally red eyes. He'd have you know how the Rinnegan is permanent? Naruto would actually have a permanent Sharingan on his eyes. He could evolve the Sharingan, but he's always gonna have a Sharingan, even in his bases. So yeah. So what happens is Naruto, after he was born, he would have actually, you know what? Naruto he has literal dark chakra, Yami chakra running through his veins. So that probably caused a reaction. So I'm gonna say he's born with a little bit of a how can I say? This Sharingan, instead of being red, because of the dark chakra running through his veins, his Sharingan would be gray. it'd be the same shade as the his Sharingan would be a very, very light gray. Close to being a whitish gray. So yeah, Naruto would be born with a permanent white Sharingan. Due to the black chakra running through his veins. Sorry if you hear any background noise for the third time, I think. But yeah, because of this chakra running through his veins, Naruto would have a permanent white Sharingan on him. This Sharingan would actually be a mixture of the Byakugan and Sharingan. Not to mention, he's actually, well, I'm going to say the actuals in this what if are actually humanoid. So Naruto, they look like humans. I mean, they would have blue hair, but they look like humans. Let's say the balance between the two actually created like a humanoid Naruto because he's half Otsutsuki and half astral. It created like a balance between the two, so it actually made like Naruto like, how can I say, a white Sharingan, like I said, because of the dark chakra running through his veins, and yeah, half astral, half Otsutsuki. And no, I'm going to say that Naruto will not unlock the Rindra Sharingan or the Astral Gun, because those are from the respective clans of each other, from his parents. Naruto is born from dark chakra. Well, he wasn't born from dark chakra, but I think he'd have a different type of final doujutsu, I guess you could say. But let's get back to the story. They put Rasori in the Genjutsu, and Rasori actually fought along with him. Rasori created a bond with Kaguya and Rindra. Rasori would be very powerful. He'd be able to move mountains. He had superhuman agility, superhuman strength. And I'm going to take this idea from another what-ifer, but Rasori is actually able to change his size. So he could be a very small Rasori. He could be the size of an actual fox. He could be small enough to fit in your hands. But at his max, he could be, I want to say, 15 times bigger than the Ten Tails, if that's his true size. So yeah, what happens is they decide to do two things. They actually decide to do like a double jutsu, I guess. They decide to do a double. Okay, guys, I'm back. Sorry for the fifth cut. It's just some people don't know how to be quiet. Okay, but I'm back. So I'm gonna say they did a double jutsu type thing. Kaguya decided to do one jutsu, and they kind of hatched a plan for Naruto. Kaguya, through all of her ability, she did a Reaper Death Seal, but this Reaper Death Seal was stronger than a normal one. The Reaper was all black with a black hoodie and a scythe. This Reaper would be the Solar Death Seal. This seal would be the Solar Death Seal. This one actually took Kaguya's soul instantly, but this was actually planned so Naruto could live. After this, Rindra's heightened emotion it gave him the final form of the Astral Gun. The Randori. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna call it the Mandorian Mangekyo Eternal Astral Gun. We won't be dealing with it anymore in the series, so that's a good thing. Okay, so he unlocked that dojutsu I just said, because that's a temporary dojutsu. It only happens when the user's emotions have been peaked. There have been very few people who are able to control it. There are a few people like the first Astral. Rindra would probably be able to control it later in his life if he lived longer, but after he unlocked it, he did a pocket dimension seal on Naruto, which sent Naruto to another dimension for 10 million years. Actually, no, 1 million years, where he wouldn't age or he wouldn't gain consciousness. But Yeah, but Kaguya's solar death seal thing, it wasn't actually a seal. She did a solar death link. She basically linked Naruto and Rasori. This way, Rasori would be able to go into Naruto's mindscape and stay inside of him and share energy and chakra whatsoever and use telepathy with each other. But Rasori would actually be able to leave Naruto's mindscape and create himself a physical form. So yeah, there it goes. So yeah, so after this, Naruto would be in that pocket dimension for 1,000,000 years. Naruto would actually suddenly pop out in, I want to say, Minato time Konoha, when Minato was Hokage. What happens is, in this story, Minato and Kushina actually aren't able to have children. It's really sad, so they actually were looking to adopt a child. But it was actually pretty hard because of all the paperwork, because they were Hokage and Uzumaki. So yeah, this would be pretty hard for the two. So what happened was, because of all this, they'd be sad, like really sad. So what happened would, Minato was actually taking a stroll because, yeah, they would use like some type of medical ninjutsu to find out that Minato cannot have children. So Minato would actually be very sad, so he'd be taking a stroll outside the hospital because he felt sad. And because of that, he actually I'm gonna say Naruto, the time pocket jutsu actually just wore off after a while. The time pocket jutsu wore off after a while because, 10,000,000 years, eventually that's gonna happen. 1,000,000 years. So after the years are up and Naruto pops out, Minato feels a dense, strong chakra. If an animal wasn't like in a backyard in Naruto, it'd be disintegrated instantly. What happened was Minato thought it was an invasion, so he ran. As soon as he saw it was a baby child, he struggled against it and just walked. Actually, I'm taking it back. I'm sorry if I'm taking so much stuff back, but I'm gonna have the Sharingan be the permanent Sharingan be red. What happened was, Minato actually went up to the baby and picked the baby up. He saw that the baby had a Sharingan in his eyes. Minato was afraid of this child, but as soon as he picked it up, the child closed off all of his chakra, and his eyes just went to a red color. I'm gonna say that Naruto is able to mask his Sharingans to make them look like normal eyes, but they'll always be red. He'll always have red eyes. He can mask it to make it not look like a Sharingan, but they'll always be red. So this Sharingan would basically, in turn, scare the living life out of Minato, but Minato actually pushed forward and picked the baby up and hugged it. Naruto would actually push off all of this dense chakra, this strong chakra, and mask his Sharingan instinctively because he was just a baby. So after all this happened, Minato would actually decide he was going to take care of Naruto for about a week until he could find out what to do with him. What happened was I'm gonna make Minato a Uchiha in this one, and he's Fugaku's brother. So basically what would happen would be they'd basically go and they'd go over to the Uchiha compound, just the Uchiha place in general, and try to find out who the baby belongs to, because it wasn't an ordinary Uchiha. It had white hair. It would be pretty crazy to them because they'd never seen such a thing. They'd never seen such a thing before. It'd be crazy. It'd be like a make-believe thing. So they'd just be like, what is this? What is this? What, boy? What? I'm just kidding, they wouldn't. But they would be generally confused about Naruto's heritage. Because I want to say that Minato told them that Naruto actually had a Sharingan, but now masked it because, yeah. So, yeah, this would be pretty crazy due to all the things that would have happened. They'd be like, what is this? What is this? Yeah, they would be pretty, like, weirded out by it, but they weren't actually able to find the baby's parents. So, what happened would be... Actually, I'm going to say he had the Mangekyo Sharingan. But yeah, they wouldn't be able to find the actual baby's parents. So, Minato actually decided he would take care of the child for a few weeks.
Aw, he's scratching at the door, baby.
He'd be very, very cute. Well, yeah, Minato decided to take care of the dog. Hey, Kennedy, Mozzie's out here. Well, yeah, they would take care of the dog. So, I mean, they would take care of the kid. Minato decided. And Kushina is still Uzumaki. And she would still have the 9 tails in her. So what happened would be... Rasori would actually contact Minato through telepathy, and he would yell at Minato. Well, not yell at Minato, but tell Minato that if you hurt this child, I will surely kill you instantly. Minato actually thought it was a voice in his head, but he didn't want to find out, so he went along with it. Yeah. So... time skip 1 week later. Time skip to Minato getting home. He actually sees Kushina and says, Kushina, there's actually a child here. So he actually talked with Kushina and said that they're going to be taking care of the child for a week. Kushina was overjoyous to be taking care of it because she wasn't able to have a child of her own. Minato actually took care of the child. There's nothing that much over here, so now we're gonna time skip 1 week later. Basically, Minato went with the elders to see what to do with the actual child, because not a lot of people knew what to do with the thing. So what they decided to do was one person suggested that Minato should actually take the child in. A lot of every elder said to take the child in, except for Danzo, because Danzo wanted the child for his personal gain. Time skip 3 years later, Naruto has actually bonded with them very well. He says, Dada. He called Kushina his mom and Minato his dad, and Minato cried to death. Kushina was happy, but Minato cried to death. So yeah, a lot of this was actually fun for them. So yeah, they were pretty happy. They were really happy. Time skip 1 more year later, Minato was actually training and practicing his Hokage skills, but actually when they were naming Naruto, Minato was like saying we should name him Menma, but a voice inside of his head says Naruto. So Minato decided to name him Naruto. They would actually be very, very happy about Naruto. I've said this a lot of times, but they'd be happy. So let's say Minato is training, and then you see Naruto. Yeah, this would be Naruto. That's his mass Sharingan in his eye. But yeah, Naruto would be actually running. So what he'd do was Naruto wouldn't be running. Minato would be training, throwing his kunai, shuriken, and everything. And Minato was actually punching and tree walking, Naruto was actually tree walking, trying to tree walk too. He could actually tree walk really well. But the first time he tried, he blew up the tree. Minato didn't notice this because he was a while away. When Minato was punching trees, what happened was Naruto, he punched the tree. And 20 trees in front of him, 10 trees to both sides of him, and 5 trees behind him all blew over just from the sheer force of his punch. Minato would then go to see what it was, and it was Naruto. He would actually pick Naruto up and see what it was, and Naruto, his Sharingan came out. What happened was later, Naruto was actually trained very much. When Naruto was 6, he was actually training regular. He let himself in. Well, yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, Naruto would actually just Naruto would be crazy. Naruto would train himself rigorously. Minato didn't train himself. Naruto trained himself rigorously up until he was 6. He would train crazy. Like, when he was 8, he was probably Chunin leveled, even higher than that. When he turned 9, when he turned 9, he was almost Jonin. When he turned 10, he was Jonin level. Yes, I'm gonna say that right out there. Naruto was Jonin level. He'd be called the silver flash of the leaf after his father, the yellow flash of the leaf. And yeah. So time skip to 10 years old, Naruto would enroll in the academy, and that's where we're going to be leaving it off for today. Everyone, that is the end of it. So that is the end of the video. So everyone, if you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm just kidding, you don't have to subscribe, like, or anything. But comment if you have any better ideas for the what if you see this what if. So thank you for watching. And make sure you take a daily dose of anime, because that can save your life. It really can't, but that's what I like to say.